Instagram is giving users a new tool today in an effort to reduce cyberbullying. So it's called Restrict. It allows you to hide stuff someone else is posting, but that person doesn't know it. And right now, you can only block people on most platforms.
This is helpful in the sense that a lot of times kids were reluctant to block users for a lot of reasons, but mainly because they didn't want to maybe aggravate that person more, or didn't want to not know what was being said, because if I block you, then I can't see other things that you're doing on the platform and how you're interacting with others.
Justin Patchen with Cyberbullying Research Center says restricting comments essentially takes away a bully's power. He says blocking is still best for someone you don't know, but if it is someone that you know and you need to maintain a connection with, Restrict might be a better option. So if someone continues to bully you, Patchen says collect evidence, take screenshots. Don't retaliate, because then it just becomes a fight. And report the user. There are terms of service for a reason. And more than half of young people have reported being bullied online. Well, from old satellites to broken pieces off a rocket, the amount of trash in space is piling up. And it's becoming a problem because future satellites used for things like cell service could potentially collide with that trash and affect your service in the long run. So tomorrow on The Now, we're checking out the new technology that's trying to solve this problem.
Temperatures may solve the problem for you if you want more fall-like weather. Temperature tomorrow is a transition day. It will be cooler, but it won't feel all that cool. Friday is the day you're looking at 68 degrees, and look at the morning low on Saturday. That's all for The Now, Indy. The news at 6 starts right now.
We begin with breaking news now at 6. The first legal action in that insulin mistake involving Lawrence Township schools. The mother demanding action only speaks to RTV6 on the news at 6.
This could have been a deadly situation for all 16 of these children that were injected with this insulin.
They called back at 8:14 and called back 9:24. And my cousin called every day last week she was here.
A family is asking RTV6 for help in getting a sidewalk fixed, which they say was damaged last winter by a snowplow. We're working for you and getting results.
A woman is struggling to open a daycare on the east side because of recent crime. I'm Stephanie Wade, seeing what's being done.
This is breaking news from RTV6, working for you.
As a parent, when you walk into a situation and that you've never seen your child in, it's devastating.
Only on RTV6, a mother seeking accountability after a medical mix-up involving insulin and her son inside the McKenzie Career Center.
Their attorney calling the Lawrence Township School District grossly negligent and failing to take appropriate action. It's a breaking story you will only see on RTV6 2 days after 16 students were mistakenly given insulin shots instead of a TB test. A mother wants people to know what was happening inside the school.
Yeah, and tonight we are getting exclusive details. Call 6 Chief Investigator Rafael Sanchez just finished a conversation with the mother and her lawyer in a story you will see only right here. Rafael.
Mark and Amanda, good evening. Just finished talking to Cynthia Smith, her son Elijah, and their family attorney, Faith Alvarez. Cynthia telling me that when she heard about what was happening at the McKenzie Center, she rushed to the school, but she had a panic attack when she saw what was before her. Her son Elijah passed out over an insulin overdose. We're learning new details about what happened during the medical mix-up inside the McKenzie Career Center. In a tort claim, putting the Lawrence Township School District on notice of a possible lawsuit. The timeline offered raises many questions. At 9 a.m., Elijah Gaskin III says he and classmates were expecting flu shots and injections for TB tests. They were later told they received insulin instead. The high school student says he was told not to contact his parents. His blood sugar, he says, was not checked, and he was not offered or provided medical treatment. At about 11, Elijah says he called his mother reporting that he was feeling ill. His mother, Cynthia Smith, reports arriving at the school at about 11:15 and found her son lying unconscious in a chair.
I didn't think he was dead. I knew he was in a bad situation where he needed help.
Not what you expected when you walked into that building.
No. I didn't expect to see him laying out like that, no. Knocked him out. Scared me to death.
You kept him home for a day?
Yes.
He plays football. There should be a big football game tomorrow.
There is, but there is a game Friday, but he's not playing because it's not recommended that he plays this week. He needs to sit out and make sure there's no adverse effects from this. You know, if it was just he didn't pass out from it, then it would be different, but he did.
Cynthia Smith happens to be a geriatric nurse, so she knows how to work with patients who need insulin, so she knew that this was a very serious issue. She's asked Elijah for the rest of the week not to sleep with his door closed. She wants to be able to check on him every single minute possible because she's still concerned. For Elijah, he was looking forward to playing a big football game against a big rival in North Central tomorrow. He's already ran for 300 yards. He scored five touchdowns. But tomorrow on Friday Football Frenzy, he'll be on the sidelines because of the effects of the overdose that he experienced at school. Mark and Amanda?
All right, Raphael, it's interesting to hear what was going on inside the school from that student's account and from his mother, too. So what comes next here, and especially for Community Health Network?
In speaking with attorney Faith Alvarez, she tells me that 2 letters were hand-delivered today. One to the school district there in Lawrence. The other hand-delivered letter went to Community Health. They're hoping to resolve this outside of court. So she's hoping that all sides can get together soon to resolve this away from the legal system. But I must point out, Mark, that right now I'm standing in the shadow of the city-county building. As you know, behind me, there are dozens of courtrooms. And attorney Alvarez says if neither the school district or the hospital come to the table, there are plenty of courtrooms where she can file a lawsuit in the near future. Mark?
All right, we'll see what happens. Call 6 Chief Investigator Rafael Sanchez live for us downtown tonight. Thanks, Ralph.
And the city of Indianapolis plans to use eminent domain to take control of the former GM stamping plant on the city's west side to make sure it is developed. The city shared this plan in a letter sent to the current owner, Ambrose Property Group. Last week, Ambrose backed out of a plan to redevelop the 103-acre site and plans to sell it. The initial plan called for development of apartments, restaurants, and retail called the Waterside. The letter from the city states, quote, if Ambrose would prefer to avoid the delay and expense of a court process, we would welcome the opportunity to begin negotiating acquisition of the property immediately. An eminent domain allows a public entity to acquire private property for public use with payment or compensation. We have reached out to Ambrose for comment but have not heard back. Ambrose has already sold or given away some of the land it was going to use for the Waterside project. The company donated 10 acres and sold an additional 16.5 acres to the Indianapolis Zoo. The zoo will use the new 26 acres for parking and converting its current parking lot for new exhibit space. The plans for the new exhibits are still a few years away from becoming reality, but this is the first step of a major expansion for the zoo.
We're landlocked. It's a really nice place to be as far as close to the downtown. People can walk to the zoo, go to White River State Park and all the attractions, but there's not a lot of room to grow. So we're excited about having this opportunity to have a little bit more space.
Palermo said since the Now Zoo now owns this land, they don't expect the city's talk of eminent domain with Ambrose to have an impact. She said the city has always been supportive of the zoo obtaining more land for parking.
RTV6 is working for you tonight and getting results. Family members of an elderly East Side couple reached out to RTV6 asking for help in getting their sidewalk fixed. They say it was damaged by a snowplow in January. RTV6's Nicole Griffin is getting answers tonight from the city, including when they expect the repair to be made.
This large piece of concrete has been laying in this front yard along Emerson Avenue for 8 months. The couple who lives at the home here tells me a snowplow damaged it in January. Now they've been waiting ever since then for the city to come out and fix it. Benny and Judy Napier moved into their East Side home 60 years ago.
When we moved here, we was the youngest couple. Now we're the oldest couple.
Judy uses a walker to get around, which is why their broken sidewalk is an issue they need fixed, especially before the winter.
If the alley's blocked off with snow, I can clean the front walk off and get my wife down there to get in the car, but the way it is, I can't do that.
It makes me feel bad because he's frustrated, and he don't need to be frustrated about something like that.
Philip McIver is Benny's nephew.
When they need something, I come over here.
He says the frustration comes because Benny and other family members have been complaining about the sidewalk to the Mayor's Action Center since January 24th.
And they called back at 8:14 and called back 9:24. And my cousin called every day last week she was here. Nothing happened, and that's why we called you.
Oh, yeah, that's too long. I'm 84. I might not be there around very long.
The Mayor's Action Center says they have sent 3 escalation emails to DPW asking for a timeline on when it will be fixed. The most recent was last Friday.
It just bugs him that he calls down there and they just don't want to take care of him. I mean, he's a veteran. He served his country, and now he needs them to serve him, and they're not helping him.
I took the family's concerns to DPW asking when the sidewalk would be fixed. A spokeswoman responded saying they sent a crew out to inspect the sidewalk. It is now scheduled to finally be repaired on Thursday. Working for you on the east side, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
Well, the Mayor's Action Center says they did everything they could on their end after the request was made to report it to DPW and escalate it in the system. We are following up with DPW now to find out why it's taken so long to repair the sidewalk. If you have a problem in your neighborhood and need help getting results, reach out to us by sending us an email at workingforyou@rtv6.com.
A woman is trying to bring light to her community and open a daycare in an area she says lacks quality child care. But she says recent crime in the area is making it tough for her to do that. RTV6's Stephanie Wade shares her effort and sees what is being done to stop the crime.
The child care is a constant turnover that I notice on the east side. So my goal is to come and to provide consistent quality child care to the neighborhood so we can build some stability.
Kiana Williams is just weeks away from her Angels of Hope daycare opening near 21st and Emerson on the east side.
My main goal is to kind of get people to recognize and appreciate our community, because your community and the way that we treat our community says a lot about us.
But she says she's struggling to do so because of recent crime. A vandalized fence separating her daycare from Emerson Place apartments, she says, is allowing unwanted guests to trespass and steal from her property.
It's completely open, so they'll just hop right over and come through the fence.
You see, she put this plywood here and this dumpster to block anyone from coming onto the property. Behind this, there's no fencing. She says she's even caught someone on camera coming in the middle of the night, taking this down to come through. This video shows a man snatching part of the gate, then dragging it onto the apartment complex's property.
It was like 2 or 3 times there were homeless people laying on the side of the building. I done found clothing, hospital gowns, crates in the back of the building. So now I have placed security lights all around.
Emerson Place Apartments is owned by the Millennia Companies. A spokesperson tells us, quote, regarding the gate, we are currently in the process of seeking bids and engaging a contractor to evaluate the damage and make repairs in the coming weeks. We encourage anyone who has concerns about vandalism in the area to contact the Indianapolis Police Department. What's your concern?
My concern is the safety of the children. That's my main concern.
You don't want to bring kids around here if there's crime?
Absolutely not.
Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Thanks, Steph. And police also told the daycare owner they were stepping up extra patrols in the area to help. The grand opening is October 31st. She hopes the fence will be up and secure by then. Still ahead on the news at 6, details on a program preparing Hoosiers for manufacturing jobs and having great success.
Plus, a baby at the zoo needs a name and they're asking for your help. The 3 names under consideration and how you can vote.
The word of the day is Aeroscreen, and it's the next big step in IndyCar's safety innovation. I'm Brad Brown at the Speedway. A pair of former champions are putting it through its paces today. We'll take a closer look coming up on the news at 6.
And I'm sure you've heard about the temperature change on the way. It may look like rain, but will we see any tonight? I've got the answer coming up.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
In tonight's Hiring Hoosiers, it's no secret there are plenty of jobs available in manufacturing. But what if you don't have the skills or training for a career in that industry? RTV6's Meredith Barrick looks into a Connexus, Indiana training program, helping Hoosiers gain employment and confidence.
Exhilarating. It feels good.
It's graduation day at the Greensburg Learning Center.
It feels great. It's a big step.
Nicholas Schaefer is just one of many grads beaming with pride. They're armed with new skills and new jobs thanks to an innovative 4-week training program called Catapult Indiana.
It is a nice 4-week training program. It's a work and learn. So there's 80 hours of that, which is in a classroom, and 80 hours, which is hands-on. And it really is clear and concise and industry-driven and industry-built to address those needs of manufacturing. There's almost 90,000 open manufacturing jobs in Indiana, and a lot of those are those entry-level positions.
Schaefer was introduced to the course when his former employer announced it was closing.
Just looking for something new to kind of launch my career and kind of help pay for my children and their college. That was a great option for the fact that you're getting paid to do it. And like I said, it's only a month to get the credits. I graduated from high school in 2002, but haven't gone through college for the fact of having children at a young age. And so I took advantage of the program.
He also made $12 an hour during those 4 weeks.
It is really the goal. It's really to be quick, easy, concise, and to the point of training. But additionally, what we're trying to do is take the people that are underemployed and give them an opportunity to do a larger career.
Schaefer is proof of that, offered a new job and launched into a better life before he even completed Catapult.
I'll be working for Delta Faucet here in Greensburg, Indiana. So I'll be going from making, really low wages from about 10 to 12 an hour to making $17 to $18 an hour.
Working for you, Meredith Barrick, RTV6.
Catapult has trained nearly 4,000 students throughout Indiana with a 95% placement rate. They have several different locations throughout the state, and they plan on expanding. The program is open to any Hoosier, and the only requirement is a high school diploma or GED equivalent. For more information, head to hiringhoosiers.com.
What shall we name the baby? That's what the Indianapolis Zoo is asking you to help with. The zoo's baby dolphin needs a name, and the male Atlantic bottlenose dolphin was born to Calais on August 27th. He currently weighs 66 pounds, which is nearly double his birth weight. Now he needs a name, and you are being asked to vote for your favorite. Here are your 3 choices. August, for the month he was born. Leo, which symbolizes grandeur and courage. And your final choice is Maui, a demigod from a Polynesian mythology. Voting opened at noon today and continues through noon a week from today, October 9th. The name will be announced October 10th. Voting will take place only on the zoo's Facebook page. You can find a link in this story on the IndyChannel.com.
I like his stripes. It looks like he's got some stripes on there.
He's cool, and he needs a name now. Come on.
Oh, it won't be long. He'll have a name that we won't forget. Temperatures, they're in the low 90s today. 3rd day in a row we've hit 92 degrees, but look what happens by Friday. Temperature at 68. Notice I skipped tomorrow. Tomorrow's a transition day. It will feel cooler. We just won't be quite that cool. We should still climb above 80 during the day tomorrow. Let's talk about the other side of the story. Low temperatures, they'll bottom out Saturday in the 40s. It's not the only morning within the 7-day planner where we'll have temperatures that comfortable. Humidity goes down. You can open the windows again, get some fresh air in. And I think also the transition from very warm temperatures to much cooler temperatures will help bring some light or brightness to the trees, kind of lighten things up with the color here for fall. As you look to the west, some breaks in the cloud cover. The cumulus clouds built through the afternoon. We've had a couple of pop-up showers, but they weren't able to sustain themselves. They just built, put a little rain, and then fell apart. The transition's taking place to the north. Temperatures in the low 60s in Gary. It's in the 50s in Chicago. The transition zone will drop to the south, but tonight along that transition is where I expect the showers and thunderstorms to be mainly to the north. 11 o'clock tonight, not much happening. Early morning hours between Peru, South Bend, Fort Wayne, that's where we see the areas of showers and thunderstorms. To the south, there's still a chance, but much less of an opportunity, I think, for any widespread rain. As we go through tomorrow, the biggest change will be the wind direction. It will come out of the northwest late in the day. That truly will open the door to the cooler temperatures, but ahead of that, we'll still make it into the low 80s in Indy, 85 in the southeastern portion of the state, only in the 70s in northwest portions of the viewing area. And there is what you've been waiting on, perhaps. Temperatures in the 60s, 68 Friday. Good night for Friday night football. A cool morning. See, Dave's fired up about that. A cool morning on Saturday, 48 degrees. I'll mention Saturday night, chance for some thunderstorms with another cool front, and you see what it does. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all 3 days, highs in the middle to upper 60s, and morning lows back in the mid-40s.
Dave, what are you talking about?
No,
You know,
it's
like
time.
sweating like crazy at a football game?
It's time. Can't wait to Friday. Throwing a
It looks nice.
Yeah, it'd be good. Hey, guys, back to work for the Colts. Calendar says October. The temperature said July. This is training camp conditions today. Linebacker Darius Leonard returning today, dealing with that concussion from week 2. T.Y. Hilton, Marlon Mack, Clayton Gathers all sitting out with a variety of injuries. That Chiefs game in KC comes up Sunday night. Hey, good evening to you. And now for something completely different. Windshields on Indy cars? Not quite, but it's all in the name of safety, and really, who's going to argue against that? The future is bright, and it is now in the Sports Extra Spotlight.
Standing still, it is sleek, almost artistic. But when it gets up to speed, it may be the biggest innovation in IndyCar safety in a generation.
It's quite exciting, but this is to me, it's an industry-changing total driver safety solution. Like Andy said, it's all of it, right? So we couldn't be more proud of this. I mean, this to me is a game changer. This is big.
IndyCar's new Aero Screen safety system combines a titanium halo with a clear polycarbonate shield. It's designed to protect drivers' heads from flying debris and getting rave reviews from Tuesday's initial run.
I'm so happy that we have it. It's really a huge step in safety. And, I think it's the best of both worlds. You've got the halo and you've got a screen. So, I think that when you've driven it for a day, you're going to feel naked without it.
Aside from changing the aesthetics, the screen affects nearly every aspect of the car. The downforce, tire wear, fuel mileage, all will be analyzed thoroughly. Inside the car, there's an interesting additional change as well.
Ultimately, it's just very quiet. You can hear I can hear my radio for a change. Normally, I can't hear that, so that's kind of nice.
As for keeping these Aero screens clean, there will be 2 solid options: tearaways similar to those on drivers' visors, and good old-fashioned elbow grease.
Drivers are quite moany, right? So you want it off all the time. And I'm like that when I do the endurance races, and you got to be very picky on when they take it off.
IndyCar will also test the screen this fall at Barber, Richmond, and Sebring. Come next May, it's clear that drivers will have a new view around here.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. I was a little bit claustrophobic when I went out at first. Then I was like, then you just, you get used to it. Now you don't want it without it.
At the Speedway, Brad Brown, RTV6 Sports.
New era. Hey, thanks. Finally, first and foremost, from baseball playoffs. What a way to begin last night. Brewers at the Nats. Juan Soto shot to right. Bad bounce for Trent Grisham. 3-run score to give the Nats a 4-3 lead, and that was the final. Break out the champagne as Washington advances. They'll face the Dodgers in the NLDS. There's the champagne. Best of 7 series, game 1 tomorrow night in L.A. Frank Reich talks pie at 11. Humble pie. Until then, the News at 6 continues after the break.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
A beautiful shot looking to the west, dry in central Indiana now. Okay, I'm going to show you the dog that we usually take for a walk during the evening hours. Think of the largest dog breed that you can. St. Bernard, Great Dane. Meet Tinker. Teacup Chihuahua. Temperatures, they're in the 80s now. They'll be in the 70s later tonight.
He looks tough.
I bet he's like, I'm a big dog.
He is. What are you talking about?